Masanam Margasishoham, says Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. This is a very auspicious month. This month is supposed to be the Brahma Muhurta time, the early morning prayer time in Devalokas for the Devas. So when we offer our devoted service to Bhagavan during this month, especially early mornings of this month is mentioned as very special. It is supposed to be a very, very auspicious thing. And it has been a traditional practice for us to recite Tiruppavai of Goda Devi, who is a incarnation of our Bhumi Mata. We call her Andal, Goda, Kodai. So she incarnated for our sake to help us uplift ourselves by giving the message of Bhagavan from Varaha Purana. Her work is in Tamil, and we've been having a lot of requests to explain it in a way that everybody can be benefited. So this Dhanurmasa, thanks to the blessings of Bhagavan and Andal Pirati, Vasudevanna and myself thought that we should do something about it. And he will be singing and giving us the summary, the overview, and a lot of interesting aspects of Tiruppavai. I will also try to explain about the Paasurams of Tiruppavai in English so that we get the essence of what our Mother Earth, Bhuma Devi, had to communicate to us in no uncertain terms. So, with that, we started this effort in the beginning of Dhanurmasa. So, we have done a few episodes till now, and now we are doing it only in the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, so that it will be easy for everybody to attend. So, today we will be going on to the seventh song, seventh Paasuram. We have completed till the sixth. We will give a quick overview of the essence of whatever we've completed for those who have joined us just today. So today the focus will, however, be the seventh Paasuram of Andal's Tiruppavai. Jai Shri Krishna.
नीलातुङ्गस्तनगिरितटी सुप्तमुद्बोध्य कृष्णम् पारार्थ्यं स्वम् श्रुतिशतशिर सिद्धमध्यापयन्ति स्वोच्चिष्टायां स्रजिनिगलिदो या बलात्कृत्य भुङ्क्ते गोदा 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 तस्यै नम इदमिदं भूय एवास्तु भूयः गोदा तस्यै नम इदमिदं भूय एवास्तु भूयः भूय एवास्तु भूयः. Submitting all my consciousness to you at your lotus feet, O Goda, O the beautiful little daughter of Vishnuchitta. You bear us. You are our mother. As Bhuma Devi, it is you who desired to bring us closer to the divine Lord Narayana, you came down to our levels of consciousness and understandings and gave this beautiful and the most easiest way to attain the lotus feet of Sriman Narayana through your Tiruppavai. Tiruppavai, where you essensify the entire purpose of our life, bring us the understanding of the purposes of being in this planet or in this world, which is you yourself, the creator of this, whom we have to attain at the end. Along with that, you have taken efforts to knock us and our senses in so many beautiful ways that we, your children, are entangled with. Just because you have provided us so much of facilities and luxuries, we have taken you for granted, O Mother. But the real purpose of our being here is to join your journey and serve Sriman Narayana. As Goda, you are that little yet a very, very powerful girl, and your messages are our mantras. Through your Tiruppavai, where you wake your Sakhis up, I wish to remember the seventh Tiruppavai, the seventh poetry. கீச்சு கீச்சென்றெங்கும் கீச்சு கீச்சென்றெங்கும் ஆனை சார்த்தல் கலந்து பேசின பேச்சரவம் கேட்டில்லையோ பெண்ணே கீச்சு கீச்சென்றெங்கும் ஆனை சார்த்தல் கலந்து பேசின பேச்சரவம் கேட்டில்லையோ பெண்ணே காசும் பிறப்பும் காசும் பிறப்பும் கலகலப்ப கை பேர்த்து வாசனரும் குழல் ஆசனரும் குழல் ஆச்சியர் மத்தினால் ஓசைப்படுத்த தயிரவம் கேட்டிலையோ மத்தினால் ஓசைப்படுத்த தயிரவம் கேட்டிலையோ நாயக பிள்ளை நாயக பிள்ளை நாராயண மூர்த்தி நாராயண மூர்த்தி கேசவனை பாட கேசவனை பாடவும் நீ கேட்டு கிடத்தியோ தேசமுடைய தேசமுடைய திரவே திரவே திரவேலோர் எம்பவாய் தேசமுடைய திரவேலோர் Let's see how Andal convinces to wake up and allow the girl who is so bright and effulgent and who is so intelligent, engrossed in Krishna Bhakti, open the door, come out and join Goda through the very beautiful description of Uncovering Tales by Pravinaji.
Jai Shri Krishna. Andal Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.
And
Such a beautiful song, extraordinary rendition by Vasudevana. Of course, as usual, I should say. With this beautiful start, let us visualize all what is happening. We've come through a journey of first six Pasurams where Bhuma Devi, our Koda, was found by the great sage Alvar Vishnuchitta in his own garden, which was filled with Tulasi. So, right there next to Tulasi Mata in the Tulasi Mada, Goda was found full of tejas. And she had incarnated for our sake, Bhuma Devi, just to help all the children who live in her. She speaks of Vayyattu Varvirgal, all those who live in me. These messages are for you. So she took her avatar just for our sake. And starting from the very first song, the first Paasuram, she's been giving us a lot of information. In the very first Paasuram, she told us who is going to help us. Narayanane Namakke Parai Taruvan. That Narayana is going to help you. He is going to give you the ultimate gift. And how is he going to give you? I mean, what is the relationship between you and Bhagavan? Bhagavan is somewhere. He's the Paravasudeva, right? So she says, here he is Yashodhai Ilanchingam Karmeni Shankan Kadar Madiyam Pol Mugattan Nara Yenane. So he is now the little child of Yashodha Mata, who does not even blink her eye. She protects him so much. He is the son of Vasudeva, Devaki. He is now transferred to the other side. Therefore, Yashoda Mata protects him, and his father always has a spear on his hand. So Nanda Gopala, he's like, always scared of his father. Therefore, he obeys whatever his father says, while he does all the taunts to his mother only. So Nandagopan Kumaran is the word Andal uses. He's like an obedient son of Nandagopala. But then with Yashoda, he's like a singer. He does all his taunts. So that little child is now in this Vrajabhumi for our sake, and he is none other than Narayana, and that Narayana will give us all what we want. He'll give us the ultimate mokshananda, says Andal. So with that as the objective, she moves on to the next pasura, where the very clear rules of the vrata are mentioned. And then she starts to explain about the benefits of the vrata. She requests rain god to pour the rains for us in a way that we can handle it. And then she speaks about the beautiful avatara as Damodara Leela. And she tells us that if we follow all what she's explained to us, mainly the three important things, Vayinal Padi, Manadinal Sindithu, Thumalar Thuvitturdu, we have to constantly sing the praise of Bhagavan, we have to contemplate on him, and we have to do a archana for Bhagavan. So if these three are done with absolute purity of thought, words, and deeds, Tuyomai Vandu. So we come with all purity, following all the instructions she's told in the second Pasura. Then all our sins which we accumulate now, which we've accumulated over so many janmas of ours, everything will get exhausted. She says we don't even have to worry about the future because everything that we've accumulated, be it sins or be it even punyas, which also trouble us, everything will be burnt to ashes, just like how a heap of cotton, even with a spark of fire, will get burnt to ashes. So, till that was the first five pasurams, and we saw the sixth pasuram in which Andal very beautifully started waking up her friends. All the friends in the Vraja Bhumi have to now be woken up by Andal. Andal was born in Srivilliputur to Vishnu Chittar. Now, how is the scene moving off to the Vraja Bhumi? Right? Now, because Andal wanted to interact with Bhagavan the way the gopis, all the Bhagavatas did, she requested elders to give a solution. And nothing is ever a hindrance to Andal. She, faces the situations head on. She transforms everything. Today, all of us are upset about the current health scenario that we are not able to visit many Divya Desams. We are not able to visit temples. We are not able to lead the normal life. Andal's life is a great tip for each one of us. She could not go to Brindavan or Rajabhumi. What did our little kid Andal do? She took the inspiration from the elders who told her to do a role play. And not only did she role play, she converted the entire area into her role play. So what did Andal do? She changed her Srivilliputur, where she was living, into the Gokula, the Vrajabhumi, the Brindavana. Everything is now the place where she lives. The 5 lakh people there are now her Gopikas. Everybody are now her Bhagavatas, the devotees of Bhagavan. Her own father, Vishnu Chitta, is now Krishna's father, Nandagopa. So who is Krishna? The deity in that temple, the Vatapatra Sai, is now her Krishna. So everybody is given a different role and entire transformation happens. And you will observe even in the songs that she's written, she's used the appropriate words which the gopikas or the cowherds there would actually naturally be using. Her language, she dwells into what was actually happening there. She moves herself to that age, that time, that experience, and shares those experiences with us. So if we have to understand our Andal, our Koda, we have to get into her mindset. We have to get into that environment. We have to be in that meditative feel and immerse ourselves in that feeling to get the bhava, the anubhava, the actual feel of what was happening there. So now, Andal, in her sixth Pasuram, very clearly has explained about how she woke up the very first Gopika. We spoke about the two different types of devotion. One is aggressively wanting to do Kainkariya for Bhagavan, like the way Lakshmana did. He was impatient. Instantly, he wanted to do Kainkariya. So he accompanied Bhagavan. He could not wait for 14 years. He accompanied Bhagavan, and in the forest, he did all possible service to him very, very actively, compromising the so called pleasures which people usually look forward to in life. But to Lakshmana, those were not pleasures. Being with Rama was pleasure. Serving Rama was pleasure. Bharata, on the other hand, decided to obey the orders of Bhagavan, and he was contented reciting Bhagavan Nama. He was contented thinking about all the experiences that Bhagavan had shared during their stay. So he was relatively, if we look at them together, Bharata was passive, Lakshmana was aggressive and active in the way he actually showed his devotion. So both of these are actually devoted service to Bhagavan, but in very, very different ways. So we can understand that there are certain gopis who are now awake, active, because Krishna had told them, look, all of you have to go now and retire for the day. Tomorrow morning, we can meet and you can start your vrata. So, because Krishna had said, and he's gone back to his abode where Nappinai is there, some gopikas could not sleep. They were restless. Oh my God, when are we going to start this vrata? When am I going to have the darshan of Krishna again? Even for a second, being without Bhagavan is very, very difficult. What do I do? That kind of a urge was there that they were restlessly waiting for when it will dawn. On the other hand, like Bharata, like Bhagavan's brother, Rama's brother Bharata, there were some gopikas who were contented because Bhagavan Krishna has asked us to retire, we shall retire. And what do? We contemplate on Bhagavan. We contemplate on his qualities, on his gunas. We contemplate on his attributes. So they are lying down, contemplating, sleeping, and enjoying the beauty of Bhagavan while they are asleep. So this kind of, you know, two types of devotion you can see in this poetry, in these slokas which Andal is giving us. So there are certain gopikas who are now awake. There are certain gopikas who are sleeping. From the sixth Paasuram, sixth sloka, Andal is now waking up along with those who are already awake, who are not able to be patient to wait for it to dawn, right? So those gopikas are all together along with Andal now. They are going to wake up those who are lying down, sleeping, having a anubhava of Bhagavan. So that is this beautiful scenario. Now, in the Pullum Silambinagan Pasuram, we learned about the 5 different stages of how we can worship Bhagavan. It's not stages, 5 different ways of worshipping Bhagavan. We spoke about Para, Vyuha, Vibhava, Antaryami, and Archa. Para is the Paravasudeva Rupa, which is the ultimate Bhagavan in Paramapada who creates everything. He is the Bija, from him everything comes out. He is the Para Vasudeva Swarupa. And Andal used the word Narayana in order to address the Para Vasudeva in the very first sloka itself. In the second sloka, we saw that she had used Parkadalul Payyattuginra Paraman. The Bhagavan in the Kshirabdi was addressed by Andal, which is Vyuha Vasudeva. Then the Koval, she speaks about the temple. We discussed about why are these forms important? Because one is like the water in the environment, in the air, which is available everywhere, like Paravasudeva, but we are not able to access it. We are not capable of grabbing water from there. The Vyuha is like the ocean, it's there, but we are still not able to utilize it. The Vibhava or the avatars of Bhagavan are like the Rama, the Krishna, Nrsimha Avatara. All these are there for Bhagavan, and we are able to enjoy it today as it has happened earlier. But think of all those who would have been at that time. They would have felt so contented experiencing Bhagavan, right? So we were not possibly able to experience it at that time because we were born later. The Desha Kala Niyama, the time and the place where the delimiters. So these are compared to the seasonal rains, the rivers which are seasonal. It was there at that point of time, not there now. The Antaryami Bhagavan is like the water in a place which is nearby. It's like the water in our own well. We can access it, it's there. But then it is not easy to access because the well has to be dug. A lot of cleansing of the well in the initial part should be done before you get crystal clear water. So that is the Antaryami who is there right in us. We can explore. We have to do a lot of Atma Shuddhi in order to realize that. But the Bhagavan in the temple is there. He's waiting for us. He gives us the experiences whenever we go. He's standing, irrespective of how much his leg aches. Alvar says, Nadanda kalgal nondavo. Is your leg paining, Rama, because you walked all the way Ayodhya and Sri Lanka? Look at the distance. Oh, Rama, you walked and walked and walked. Is your leg not hurting? Nadanda kalgal nondavo. The walk of your leg must have really pained you, oh Rama. So that kind of effort Bhagavan took, and that we can see in the Archa even today. He's standing in so many places as Rama for us. He's sitting in so many places waiting. When are you going to come to me? I'm waiting for you. I was standing, but how long can I stand? Several yugas are going on. I'm just waiting for you. Please come to me, oh my dear child, he says. And he sits and he waits. Even then, the material pursuits, the desires that we have are so much that we keep running, we keep running, and we still are running. Bhagavan is still waiting, sitting for us patiently in so many temples, thinking that we will come, we will surrender to him, and he can be happy. In some places, he decides to lie down. How long do I stand? How long do I sit? Okay, let my child come to me. He will definitely come to me, thinks Bhagavan. And he's now lying down, resting, yoga nidra, thinking that someday, sometime we will go and seek his blessings, surrender to him. He is still patiently waiting for us. And we are still in our rat race, running around, going behind material pursuits, not realizing that our dear Bhagavan is there in all these temples just for our sake. So Andal explains these forms. She explained about the Trivikrama Avatara as the Avatara, Vibhava Avatara. She spoke about the Antaryami Bhagavan when she spoke about the rain god. In the sixth Paasuram, she spoke about the Pullarayan Kovil, which is the Archarupa of Bhagavan. And beautifully in the sixth Paasuram itself, she has summarized all the six forms of Bhagavan and given us a recap of what each of this is. Shakatasura and Putana were all about the Vibhava Avataras. Parkadalul Payyattuginra Paraman was about the Shirabdinatha. She spoke about the Vitt or the Bija, the seed, as the Vyuha Bhagavan. She also spoke about the Antaryami Bhagavan. உள்ளத்திற்கொண்டு முனிவர்களும் யோகிகளும், the munis and the yogis, they say Hari என்ற பேரரவம். Early morning, the first thing they start with the Harinama Sankirtana of Bhagavan. What a beauty! She covered all these five things in one pasura, just as a recap, a recollection for us, and summarized us so that with this basic knowledge and all the Nama Sankirtanas that Andal has done till now, we can get geared to go on to the future Pasurams. So she woke up her first Saki with this beautiful sixth Pasuram. So we will go on to the seventh Pasuram. Before we go on, Vasudevana, would you like to add?
The five stages, which bring so much of clarity with the process and progression of Andal's purpose. And the same is a message to us that how to approach is a very simple, straightforward way within which we are going to enjoy a lot of inner meanings. And yes, keenly waiting for those hidden meanings. Jai Shri Rama.
Jai Shri Rama. Thank you, Anna. So we will now move on to today's Pasuram, which is the seventh Pasuram. Today's for us. Actually, Andal has been telling one Pasuram every day. We've been doing the Tiruppavai discussions only in the weekend. So we are now in the seventh Pasuram today. So Vasudevana sang this very, very beautifully. கீசு என்றெங்கும் ஆனை சாத்தன் கலந்து பேசின பேச்சரவம் கேட்டிலையோ பெண்ணே. So this is again a very, very immersive pasuram, giving us a lot of general meaning which we can implement in our everyday life, in addition to in-depth meaning which makes us think and contemplate on real big things. So each of this 10 pasurams, starting from the sixth, is about waking up great devotees like acharyas, alvars, and bhagavatottamas. It is like a Bhagavata Tiruppalli Eluchi, we say in Tamil, which is like, awakening the devotees. What do we mean by awakening the devotees? It's like, to Bhagavan, we offer Suprabhata. Early morning, Suprabhata Seva is offered to Bhagavan, where the devotees go and wake up Bhagavan. He's in Yoga Nidra. So they want him to be awake so that the world can prosper. Now, in Tiruppavai, from the previous Pasura, Andal wants to wake up all the Bhagavatas, all the devotees of Bhagavan, which is a very, very unique thing. So we call it as a Suprabhata of all the devotees of Bhagavan. When the devotees are awake, the world is so prosperous. So it is extremely important to understand what is the mindset behind waking up each of the devotee. What was the devotee thinking about at that point of time? And what does waking up actually mean? You know, um, we say a very, very famous Vedic verse, which is Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varani Bodhata, which is like translated by Vivekananda ji, and it's very famous now. This is the original is from the Kathopanishad, which is like awake, arise, stop not till your goal is achieved, right? So Uttishta Jagrata basically means that we have been in this darkness, in ignorance for a long time. Awakening is basically understanding our true self, that we are Bhagavan's, uh, you know, Shishyas, or we belong to Bhagavan basically, and that this jnana of we being the uh, child of Bhagavan, we being the property of Bhagavan, we having the relationship with Bhagavan has to be understood by each one of us. That jnana is the awakening. So, Uttishta, Jagrata is basically, awake, understand the truth. Understand the truth about Bhagavat Swarupa. Understand the truth about Jiva Swarupa, about yourself. Understand the truth about the relationship between the Jiva and Bhagavan, between you and Bhagavan. So all these are very, very important. So when Andal wakes up each person, we have to understand the great Vedic message which is underlying all these things. It is not just about calling, hey, get up, come here. That's not the case. It can be projected that way at a external, as a superficial level, but there are layers of internal meanings that we have to understand. So now, what does our little Andal do? She is not satisfied waking up just one or two people. She is Bhumi Mata. So what she wants to do is she wants to wake up everybody to the truth, to the awareness, to the knowledge that she wants everybody to know. So her Tirupavai, the place which she has now converted into the Vraja Bhumi, 5 lakh gopikas are there. Now she wants to help everybody be awake. So she is giving us 10 samples here. Usually, this 10 is also compared to our indriyas. The karmendriyas and jnanendriyas are also equated to these 10 samples who Andal actually wakes up, awakens them. So she now goes to every single person's house, knocks at their door, interacts with them, and tries to, make them awake. So come out of your sleep, she says. She does not want to miss out even one person. So everyone, has to enjoy Bhagavan because Bhagavan is everybody's father. He's the Bija. He's the person who's created all of us. He's our father. So she does not want even one Atma to miss this experience. She's our mother, right? So she wants each one of us to be awake. Bhagavan is worshipped by Arjuna, where Arjuna says, पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य, where Arjuna says, पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य. Bhagavan, you are the father of this entire loka, of both movable and immovable. So, for what can move and what cannot move, if Bhagavan is the father, Andal brings that same statement here, where she is waking up every single person and she knows that he is the father for everybody, so nobody should miss out this experience. So such a lovely reason of why she wants everybody to be awake, everybody to partake in this. And why should they not be contented? Why should they not just sleep? Why should they not just think about Bhagavad Anubhava? It is a greater experience when Bhagavatas speak of Bhagavan. Now, on the one side, Bhagavan is there. So you have a darshan of Bhagavan, which is fine. You feel very happy, which is fine. But after the darshan, what do? You miss him. Oh my God, I had a beautiful darshan, but now that darshan time is over. What do? I'm feeling really bad. I cannot, leave Bhagavan, but my daily chores are there. I have to take care of it. And it becomes a really difficult situation for us to leave the place, leave the situation. Think about it. We go to a beautiful temple visit. We have a wonderful darshan, a divine bliss is there. We are in a very, very elevated, elite mindset. That particular darshan is over. We have to now leave. We have to come home. Once we are back, what happens? Oh my God, that was a beautiful darshan. What do I do now? When do I go back again? I can't live without seeing that darshan again. That kind of a feeling comes to us, right? So after some time, we feel miserable that we are not able to have the darshan and we wait to go back and have the darshan. Now, this can be avoided with just one thing as a solution. and that is having the Bhagavatas around us all the time. The devotees, if they are with us all the time, what happens? We can always be in the bliss. We can always be happy with Bhagavad Darshana because we are never going to miss Bhagavan. We might have missed the darshan, but we might be having that experience which the devotees mutually shared, discussed, dwell, relish, and that experience can always be there whenever we want, irrespective of what is this time, the place, or the situation for us to have the darshan. So, this is a great lesson which Andal gives us, where she is like calling all the devotees to join together with her. And why does she want everybody to join? So that we can relish speaking about him, exchanging our feel of Bhagavad Anubhava. And when each of them speak of the Bhagavad Anubhava which they've had, that bliss is a totally different experience. So Andal does not want us to, not have that experience. So she is kind of helping us to ensure that when Krishna is there, it is fine. All of you can enjoy Krishna. But when Krishna moves away, all of us will feel really bad. So, who is going to help you at that time? All the devotees will help you. So, she is asking everybody to come and share the Bhagavad Anubhava, not just Bhagavad Anubhava. So, our mother gives us the solution. And she just does not instruct us, she lives it. She takes the role, she becomes one of the Gopikas, she accompanies Gopikas, she encourages us to worship Bhagavan together, everybody together, so that this bliss can be continuous, it is unstoppable. That is what Andal gives us. And this is also mentioned by Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita in the 10th chapter, 9th sloka. What do the devotees do when they are together? Machchitta madgatah pranaha bodhayantah parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Machchitta, the thought filled with Bhagavan. Madgatah prana, those who can't even live without Bhagavan because their prana is so associated with Bhagavan. Bodhayantah Parapparam. They keep inspiring each other, again and again, inspiring each other mutually. They inspire each other. And what do they do all the time? Katayantaha. They keep speaking. About what? Mam Nityam. About Bhagavan. When do they talk? Is it for a minute or two? Nityam. Sarvada. They wake up, they speak about Bhagavan. They sit, they speak about Bhagavan. They step out, they speak about Bhagavan. Krishna, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Madhava, Rishikesa, the names of Bhagavan, the Leelas of Bhagavan, the Anubhavas of Bhagavan keep flowing in their thought over and over and over again. And what happens because of this? Tushyanti. They are so contented all the time. Ramanticha, they are delighted. They are filled with bliss. And this becomes extremely positively contagious that everybody in that place start reverberating with that vibration, just like how a smile is contagious. One person smiles, the other reacts. When two people smile, others react. When everybody smiles, the environment reacts. So everybody are now tushyanticha, ramanticha. Everybody is contented, everybody is blissful. Andal, our Mata, our Koda, wants to give every single person of the Vrajabhumi this beautiful experience. Therefore, she encourages everybody to wake up, come and join this blissful exercise. So she does not want anybody to be left behind. So she goes and wakes up every single person. So this is the context in which she ensures that everybody is awake. Anna, want to add something?
So beautifully uncovered the hidden details of these namas. And why namas? Because most of the situations are considered to be the Anubhava of Bhagavat. Hence, Paasuram's Andal's Paasuram, that is the poetry's every line, is an attribution. And yes, this particular Sakhi reflects so much of rigidity. And yeah, as the the Anubhava of Sakhi is as of Bharata, and the Antaranga Anubhava of Krishna is very evident in this Sakhi. But yes, there has to be a Archavatara which has to be addressed also. And for that, Goda, we need a Goda to wake us up and to do our not failing from our karmas and Nitya Karma Anushtanas. So, this Goda is so beautifully waking this Sakhi up, who is engrossed in the Gopika Anubhava, treating herself as Gopika, and definitely reflecting all those situations of churning of butter in this Paasuram, as mentioned in this Paasuram, for the Lokanubhuti. Thank you, Pravina ji, for beautifully bringing this Paasuram's inner meanings.
Thank you, Anna. So I will continue with the verse by verse detailing of the Paasuram now. The seventh Paasuram. கீசு கீசென்றெங்கும் ஆனை சாத்தன் கலந்து பேசின பேச்சரவம் கேட்டிலையோ பேய் பெண்ணே. So கீசு கீசென்றெங்கும். So கீசு கீசு is basically like the chirping of the birds. So kisa kisa, the sounds that the birds make. Anai Satan is a bird which is called as Bharadwaja Pakshi. So the sound of that bird is mentioned by Andal here. Engum, all directions. Kaland pesina pecharavam. They all are together talking among themselves, the hissing, the sound of that, the noise of that talk. Pecharavam. Ketilayo. Are you not able to hear? So Goda is basically saying, she's Mother Earth. A lot of discussion about nature can be had here. So here she speaks about the chirping of the birds to say that, morning hour has already come. So it's time to wake up. So this is like an example of, the morning's already in place. So Pecharavam Ketalayo, are you not able to hear the chirping of the birds? They are all talking to themselves. That song is so clearly heard. Are you not able to hear it? Pei Penne, she, calls the person who's sleeping inside as Pei Penne. Hey, you are a deluded girl. I will explain the details of Pei Penne, which is very, very interesting, in a few minutes. Kasum, Pirappum, Kalagalappa Kaipert. So, Kasum Pirappum is like Andal is now a cowherd girl in the Vrajabhumi, we know that. So, her language here, I said, should be observed. And this is a beautiful language where Kasum Pirappum Kalagalappa Kaipethu is basically like the ornaments which are owned by the cowherd people. The people there wear a long necklace and some kind of pendants. The typical ornaments hit each other, when they move themselves. So when the churning of the curd to make it butter happens, they have to move their hands, forward and backwards. At that time, all the ornaments that are owned by people who are churning seem to hit against each other and make that kind of sound. So she's saying that, those sounds are also quite loud. Are you not able to hear it? கலகலப்ப கைபேர்த்து வாசன் அருங்குழல் ஆய்ச்சியர் மத்தினால் ஓசைப்படுத்த. So வாசன் அருங்குழல் ஆய்ச்சியர், all these women have very, very long, beautiful, fragrant hair. And these cowherd women are mattinal, using their churner, the butter churner, in order to create a lot of butter, and that creates a sound as well. Tairaravam, the churning of the curd into the butter is the process. Are you not able to hear all this? Nayaka Pen Pillai, Narayanan Murthy. Nayaka Pen Pillai. Hey girl, you are the leader among all these young girls. Narayanan Murthy Keshavan. So we are speaking about the ultimate Bhagavan Narayana. This word Narayana, we should recollect, we are using it for the second time. Andal, in the very first song, used this great name Narayana when she said, Narayana ne namakke parai taruvan. That ultimate Narayana will give us the biggest parai, which is the Mokshananda. And here she is using it for the second time. So Narayana is used in the seventh Paasuram for the second time. Narayanan Murthy. And who's Narayanan Murthy? Keshava. So she uses both these namas of Bhagavan in this particular Pasura. So Keshavanai Pada. So we are singing about Keshava, the Bhagavan Keshava, who is Narayana himself. Kete Kidattiyo. You can still lie down when we are talking about Narayana and Keshava. Teshamudayai. You have so much of tejas. Please open the door. Thiruppavai, come and open the door for us. So this is the overall meaning of this song. Our acharyas, preceptors, have explained this in a very, very interesting way as a conversation. They say that this is a conversation between Andal and the person who is sleeping inside. In this case, because Andal is addressing her as Pei Penne, we will take that itself as the name of the other girl. And we will see how the conversation actually goes. So it is Andal who is outside knocking the door of this girl, Peipen, who is inside. And this is a conversation which is evolving. So now Andal is there, an imaginary dialogue. Visualize this so that you can enjoy this experience. So Andal is like, are you still sleeping? The girl inside, the Peipen, says, is it already dawn? Because she's like, in Krishna Anubhava, she's contemplating on Bhagavan. She does not want anybody to disturb her. So she's like, is it dawn? Now, Andal is like, not saying whether it's dawn or not. She's saying, can't you hear what's happening? And what was happening? கீசு கீசு என்றெங்கும் ஆனை சாத்தன் கலந்து பேசின பேச்சரவம் கேட்டிலையோ, right? So கீசு கீசு ஆனை சாத்தன், the Bharadwaja Pakshis are making the chirping sounds. So kalandu pesina pecharavam, they all are discussing together. Can't you hear that sound, that noise of these Bharadwaja Pakshis together? And now this pay penner is there. She's like, you would have woken up one of the birds because you don't want to sleep for the sake of company. You would have opened up, you would have woken up one bird, and that will be repeating the names of God. That is not a sufficient proof for me. So the Paypen says, you've woken them up, so no, I'm not accepting this. Now Andal goes ahead. She says, no, 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 it is not one bird. There are so many birds making such noise from every direction. Kisa kisa endru engum. So she uses the word engum, which means all directions. So what you're saying is wrong, hey Pepenne. It is the birds which are everywhere, says Andal. Here, there are some interesting explanations given by our acharyas. Why would Andal want to speak about the chipping of birds so much in detail? So, Kisa Kisa Endru Engum is basically the rishis, the munis, the sages, and the yogins repeating Bhagavan Nama Sankirtana everywhere. The sound of this divine Nama Sankirtana, the Bhagavan Nama, is the blessing of Bhagavan to them, and that sound is heard at the very, very early morning hours, during the dawn, during the Brahma Muhurta time. We can hear that beautiful sound. So Andal is asking the lady, the Paypen, who's immersed in Bhagavad Bhakti, Are you not able to hear those subtle sounds of these Bhagavatottamas repeating the names of Bhagavan? Is that not sufficient to wake you up? Oh, Penne. So this is such a beautiful anubhava which Andal gives us. The birds make different sounds at different times, right? All of us as humans have experiences with little babies. The baby will cry when the baby is hungry. They cry when they are sleepy. They cry when nobody is paying attention to them. They cry when they want to do something different, rather than sleeping. For so many reasons, the baby cries, and the mother knows exactly when the baby cries for what, right? That is Matru Vatsalya, that's Matru instinct, you can say, the instinct of the mother. Now, Andal is the mother of everything here. So she has that instinct not just for humans, but also for birds. So she knows the different sounds that the birds create at different times. When they wake up, their sounds are different. When they go out, their sound is different. When they attempt to get food for their little ones, their sounds are different. Now, Andal knows all these sounds of the different birds. So, in the previous Paasuram, in the sixth Paasuram, she spoke about Pullum Silambinagan Pullarayan Koil. There, her feel was different for the pull or the Garuda. Here, when she speaks about the Bharadwaja Pakshi, she speaks about they having these repeated noises, right? And together they are chirping, which means they are going out for search of food. So she is telling her friend, her Saki, that these birds are going out in search of food. They don't want to leave their little ones behind. They don't want to be separated from their family while going for food. That is why you're hearing this kind of a noise. That noise should actually disturb you. That sound should actually disturb you. Now, Acharyas have given a beautiful explanation to this as well. I was totally touched when I understood the depth of what this actually means. Here, the girl is sleeping inside, the paypen is sleeping inside, and Bhagavan is going to wait. He is going to help everybody do the vrata. He's told everybody that, we will meet in the morning for the vrata. Now, Andal is saying there are these Bharadwaja birds. They have to go in search of food for their children. But then, even these birds don't want to leave their spouses and their family, even for a short time, to go in search of food. In that case, how are you able to be without Krishna in your abode? While Krishna is there, can you stay here? How can you be contented this way? How could you sleep? How can you think of even being separated from Krishna? Don't you want to rush to him? So she is comparing this lady who's inside to those of the birds who are staying in the nest, while the parent, the father, has to really go and get food. Krishna is there out waiting for us. How can we be contented here? Is this feeling not sufficient for us to rush and go to Krishna? So this is our Mata telling that Bhagavan is waiting for us. Such a beautiful Anubhava. So Andal spoke about the sounds of rishis and munis, even in the previous sloka, where she said, Mella எழுந்து ஹரியன்ற பேரரவம் உள்ளம் புகுந்து குளிர்ந்து. So the rishis and the munis get up slowly and then recite without, troubling the Antaryami Bhagavan without any jerks, but then recite loudly the Harinama Smarana. He told that in the previous Paasuram. In this Paasuram, she is speaking about the chirping of birds, which means that these are almost in same lines. In the same breath, Andal is speaking about rishis and munis on one side, and the chirping of the birds on the other side, which means this is the Bhagavan Nama Sankirtana, which is heard such early hours by the chirping of the birds. So that is the inference that our acharyas have drawn to. So much for the first line. Kisa kீசென்றெங்கும் ஆனை சார்த்தன் கலந்து பேசின பேச்சரவம் கேட்டிலையோ. Pei Penne is the name that she's addressing this devotee with. Now, so much of importance has been given to the sounds. The world wakes up to different kinds of sounds. And the sounds are going to be further explained by Andal in the coming lines. She says, Kasum Pirappum Galagalappa Kaiperthu Vasa Narunkural Aichiyar Mattinal Osai Padutha Tairaravam Kettilayo. All this is again about more varieties of sounds. Now, imagine the scenario of the Vrajabhumi. Early morning, it's just dawned, and all these beautiful women in that Vrajabhumi, the Gopikas, the Matas, every single devotee who loves Krishna and who Krishna loves, all these people are there doing every single act as a worship, as a seva to Bhagavan. And what are they doing now? They are going to use their body movements in order to make butter. Of course, they know that this butter is for Krishna. Whether they offer it or they hide it, Krishna will find a means of taking it. So ultimately, it's going to reach Krishna. So, what do they all do? They are now doing this as a Krishna Seva early in the morning as soon as they wake up. So, the milk there is supposed to be very, very thick. And they use the mattu or the butter churner in order to create, whatever curd is got from the milk into butter. So, if milk itself is thick, curd is even thicker. It's really like a solid thing. And they use their churner inside the vessel. They use both their arms in order to churn both the sides of the churner. There's a rope which is tied, and two sides are there. So they churn the churner, and the curd inside there will become buttermilk, which will in turn give us butter. Now, when this is happening, they are all wearing a lot of traditional jewelry on them. And this traditional jewelry is bulky, heavy, and multiples. Therefore, each of it hits on the other jewelry. Now, when it hits on each other, what happens? A noise is produced. And when that sound is produced, many people doing such similar sounds at the same time creates a lot of noise, which becomes like a Mangala Vadhya Dvani. That sound, that beauty of the devoted ladies churning the butter in the morning, in the wee hours, creates this beautiful Mangala Dvani, and it's rhythmic because they are moving like left, right, left, right. It's like, churning the butter, Krishna, 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 Krishna. And that sound of all their jewelry hitting each other, tuck, 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 tuck. And this churning gives this beautiful rhythmic movement. And that sound is heard by Andal, and she's asking the Peipenne, are you not able to hear this sound? Which means they all are awake. They all are doing a Krishna Seva. They all are churning the butter. Can't you get up even after hearing this? Now, in this context, she says, their hairs are loose with so much of fragrance. But then, traditionally, people tie their hairs when they do a work. But now, how is the fragrance of hair mentioned by Andal? So that is something which contradicts to the Shastras, and these people never contradict the Shastras. ஓசை படுத்த தைரரவம் கேட்டிலையோ நாயகப் பெண் பிள்ளாய் நாராயணன் மூர்த்தி. So வாசன் அருங்குழல் ஆய்ச்சியர் மத்தினால். So their arunkural, their beautiful, you know, hair seems to be having a lot of fragrance. What does this actually mean? This means that the sound that they produce is so divine that it is like the Shankhanata, the sound of the yogis and the munis which are surrounding that. The Harinama Smarana is also there in the environment. Hariyendra Peraravam, as Andal said. Now the stripping of the Bharadwaja birds, which is together, it's reminding of all the Krishna Bhakti, how we can not stay away from thinking about Krishna. The Shankanatha, which Andal mentioned in the previous Pasura, speaks about the Pranavanatha. So this entire environment is filled with so much of divinity at this point of time. And she says, hey Gopi, you should get up at this point of time. You can't miss all these things. And the beautiful fragrance from the hair of these people. How can the fragrance be connected to any of these things? Because everything else is about the sounds. Now, what is there with the fragrance? Remember, it is heavy milk which is converted into heavier butter. So that butter is now churned, made into buttermilk. And Krishna does not like to spoil butter, the curd into buttermilk. So he keeps troubling them. So they will shoo away Krishna, saying that don't trouble us, Krishna, leave the place. But if Krishna is not there, that becomes a trouble for them. They become very sad if Krishna is not there and they keep searching for Krishna. So they create the sound again so that it will attract Krishna and Krishna will be back. Now, when Krishna comes back, what happens is that they have to really work hard with so much of butter that all their ornaments start making the sound. Their hands keep going fast back and forth and back and forth. The sounds increase because of so much of effort. Whatever they have locked up in their hair actually falls down, creating that beautiful fragrance. The hair, the fragrance of their hair, the Mangala Dwani and the Mangala fragrance spreads around, the aroma of fragrance spreads around. And this is also to say that the fragrance of devotion spreads amongst all the devotees. So that bliss, that beauty is enjoyed by Andal here. So at this point, she says, all these should not be missed by you. Oh, my dear Pepenne, you please come. All these are about the Shuddha Sattva. And she says, Kesavanai Padani Kete Kidattiyo, Nayakappen Pillai, Narayanan Murti. So much of beauty is mentioned, and this girl is still not very happy. So Andal now wants to change the gear. So she's been very, very nice. She's been speaking all divine languages to this Pepen. ஓசை படுத்த தைரரவம் கேட்டிலையோ. Now, in spite of all this, the girl is not convinced. So Andal calls her Pepenne. Pepenne basically is like a one who's filled with tamasic qualities. Now, this is a shocker because everybody there is a Bhagavata Uttama, right? The ultimate Bhagavatas are the people who are in the Vrajabhumi. And this lady is so devoted to Bhagavan, so contented. We compared her with Bharata, Rama's own brother. How can she be a Pepen? How can Andal call somebody a Pepen who's filled with tamasic quality? And Andal is the Karuna Mata, right? She's filled with so much of patience and so much of Karuna. How can she utter such a word? So that is a shocker for us. Remember, as much as she's a Karuna Mata, she's filled with so much of love and affection for each of her children. She's our mother, guiding us the right way, taking the appropriate measures is the role of a mother. Mother need not always be speaking sweet nothings, right? She can be rude if that is required. She can use different methods, what is going to help her children. Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita also did the same thing. When Arjuna lamented the entire first chapter, Bhagavan was a good listener. He just listened to whatever Arjuna said. But after that, the first two slokas, which Krishna spoke to Arjuna, was actually a scolding. Krishna was rude. Krishna, gave back Arjuna in no uncertain terms, where Bhagavan said, Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupasthitam अनार्यजुष्टमस्वर्ग्यम् अकीर्तिकरम् अर्जुन क्लैब्यम् मास्मगमः पार्थ नेतत्त्वय्युपपद्यते क्षुद्रम् हृदय दौर्बल्यम् त्यक्तोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप. Hey Parantapa, hey Arjuna, from where did you get these kind of poisonous thoughts? These are not going to help you in any way. These are anarya, asargya. These are not going to give you a good name. It's not going to give you good fame. It is going to be akirtikara for you, oh Arjuna. Give up all these negative thoughts, all these unwanted thinking which has come to you at a wrong time in a wrong place, and then go fight, advises Krishna. So he actually scolds Arjuna as the very first and second verses coming from his mouth in Bhagavad Gita. And Swami Vivekananda says these two are the essence of Bhagavad Gita in his eyes, because strength is life, weakness is death, says Swami Vivekananda. So here, Andal, being our mother, will use different methodologies to bring the best out of us. So she says, Te penne, you know, you are filled with such tamasic qualities. But now, what is tamasic here? We know Bhagavan Krishna speaks about the gunatraya, right? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, three gunas. And these three gunas are there in every one of us. We have to constantly keep increasing, working on our good qualities so that our sattva qualities increase. And we have to ensure that we reduce our rajas and tamas qualities, which is about passion, desire, lust, or about laziness, tiredness, sleepiness. We should reduce all these things and focus on Bhagavad Chintana, Bhagavad Jnana, Bhagavad Kainkarya, which is all sattvic in nature. Now, when Andal is speaking a lot about Bhagavan and these shabda, these pramanas, these auspicious things, and this girl is still refusing to understand, she says, Pepenne, you are filled with such tamogunas, is it? But we should remember, Andal is not addressing this Bhagavata as tamoguna, because in the same Paasuram, she speaks of Nayaka Penpillai, where she adores this girl. The Pepen is adored by Andal. So Andal will never contradict herself in the same Pasura. So this Pepenne, our ancestors tell us that it is addressing us. Anybody who speaks or who sleeps during the Brahma Muhurta time, the early morning time, is considered a Pepen by Andal. So we are supposed to wake up, we are supposed to fill ourselves with such beautiful, auspicious environment surroundings. We are supposed to utter the name of Bhagavan, fill ourselves with his thoughts during the Brahma Muhurta. Shitran Chirigale, she says. We will explain that in that Pasuram. So this Pepenne is basically our Mata with all the rights scolding us if we sleep at early morning Brahma Muhurta hours. Okay. So, uh, in this context, assuming that she had called her as Pepene, why did she call? Because the lady who is inside knew about the greatness of what it means to have Bhagavan and the Bhagavatas, all the devotees together in one place. What kind of a Paramananda it will be. In spite of knowing the Paramananda, She is not waking up. So, after knowing something, when we do not implement it, what kind of a quality is it? It is tamasic, right? All of us know what is good for us. All of us know that, we have to dedicate ourselves to Bhagavan. All of us know that we have to contemplate on Bhagavan Gunas. All of us know that we have to offer Nishkamya Kaikarya to Bhagavan, selfless Kaikarya to Bhagavan. How many of us are actually able to do all what we know? So here, Andal addresses people like us. Every single example she takes will relate to somebody amongst us. So here, this Paasuram is addressing people who know a lot of things, who are not able to implement it. So for those Paypen, Andal is addressing, you have to implement. Getting association with Bhagavatas is the greatest blessing in life. And when Bhagavatas are together and Bhagavan is going to be there, how can you not be there at that point of time? If you're not going to wake up for that, what is the use? You become a paypen in the eyes of our Mata Godha. Going on further, ஓசைப்படுத்த தைரரவம் கேட்டிலவியோ நாயக பெண் பிள்ளாய் நாராயணன் மூர்த்தி கேசவனை பாடவும் நீ கேட்டே கிடத்தியோ. ஆஹா, காசும் பிறப்பும் கலகலப்ப கைபேர்த்து வாசன் அருங்குழல் ஆய்ச்சியர் மத்தினான். So here we spoke about the sounds that are made with the different ornaments, right? These sounds are the Mangala Dwanis, the Harinama Sankirtana. The Kalakalappa Kaipirthu is also explained as the Veda Shabda itself, the churning of milk, which has become curd, the churning of the curd, making it buttermilk and then getting the curd, is explained as the churning which is done by our acharyas, our alvars, our great seers in order to understand about Bhagavan Sriman Narayana and give the essence to us in the form of butter. In fact, Andal's own Tiruppavai is this beautiful churning. It's like the Samudra Matana from which so many things come. But she gives us the Madhava, Bhagavan and Goddess together is given to us by Andal as the essence of this entire Tiruppavai, right? Narayanane Namake Paraitarvan, she says. So that kind of beauty is given. So this churning here represents all the details taken, all the data put together. They are all churned very well with so much of hard work and then giving only whatever is required for us so that we will be able to digest it. It's given in simple, small, digestible capsules to us. Now, this Nayaga Paypen, in spite of being called as Paypen, she is still in Krishnanubhava. She is still refusing to accept. So she says, all of you can keep churning this butter, you can get enough butter. But I know why everybody is churning. Because there is so much of milk surplus from the time our little Krishna is born. Everything is abundance in the Vrajabhumi. So with so much of milk, all of you are forced to convert it into curd to store it. You further have to convert it into buttermilk and butter. Only then the life of it increases. In order to do so much, all of you have to work overnight because there is surplus of milk. So it could even be midnight when they have not yet slept. So I'm not going to believe that it is morning hours, says the patron. So she's not willing to accept the truth that it is morning time. Now Andal decides to give up on not the girl, but on these proofs. She will never give up on any one of us, right? So what does Andal do? She goes on to the next very, very powerful technique. Andal uses multiple methods in order to gain our focus, attention, and dedication. So she says, Nayaka Pen Pillai. This is a shocker. She says, Oh, leader, you are the leader of the group. Is it fair on your part to be inside? Now, the lady inside is shocked. She's like, Oh my God, what is happening? How can Andal, Mata, Goda Pirati call me a leader? All of us are Bhagavata Sheshis, right? I mean, Bhagavan is the Shesha. All of us are subservient to all the devotees of Bhagavan, right? Now, we get our energy, our source of knowledge, our inspiration from the devotees of Bhagavan. So, every devotee has to be considered very, very superior, and it is our Atma Guna, our quality of our Jiva, to be subservient to every true devotee of Bhagavan. So we consider ourselves to be lower than the devotee. If a devotee considered themselves lowest, we should be lower than the lowest. If the devotee considered themselves to be a speck of dirt in their feet, we should become the dirt which is there below that dirt. So our alvars also say that, his own name, Alvar says, is Tondar Adi Podi. Tondar means devotee, Adi means feet, Podi means the dirt in that feet. So the Alvar says that, whoever is serving Bhagavan, to their feet, if there is some dust attached to it, I am that little dust particle. So he is so humble in identifying himself like that. When Alvars are like that to the devotees of Bhagavan, what should we be? We should be the servant of all the Bhagavatas. And that gives us the pride, the energy, the encouragement, the inspiration, right? So she was very, happy that she was a servant of all these devotees. But then she was called as Penne by Andal. She was still happy. It is my mother who is calling me, with whatever adjectives I can still sleep. But now Andal calls her as the leader of all these Bhagavatas. This girl is not able to tolerate it. How can I be a leader of all the Bhagavatas? I am the servant of the Bhagavatas. And this becomes a shocker for her. And she's not able to accept it, that she actually wakes up. She wants to rush out. And she's like, hurries in order to come out. Now, Andal continues. Now, this is such an important lesson as to how each of us should always strive to be humble wherever Bhagavan's devotees are there. To every devotee, we have to be subservient. That is the message of Andal. It is never about I or me. It is always about the Bhagavatas, their priority, how we can serve them, and together we have the Bhagavat Anubhava. That is the strong message which Andal has given us. So, going forward, Andal continues. This girl is now going to rush out. She is not able to handle the situation of being called a leader. So Andal says, Narayanan Murti Keshavan. So Nayaga Penpallai, leader among all the Bhagavatas, what are we doing now? We are singing about Narayanan Murti, who is Keshavan. Now, Narayanan is the ultimate Bhagavan, who we saw in the first Adhyaya also. So this Narayana is the Paravasudeva, the Bija, the person, the ultimate Bhagavan, who is manifest, unmanifest, everything together. He is the ultimate source of every single thing. He is in the form of a bija or a seed, and that Narayana will give us everything. So that's what Andal told us in the first Paasuram. Now she says we are singing about that Narayana Murti. And why is that Narayana Murti important? Because he is everywhere and he is filled with Vatsalya. Vatsalya is a beautiful term for us to meditate upon, for us to contemplate. Vatsasya bhava. So, what is Vatsa? When a cow and a calf are there, what happens is the cow gives birth to a calf. This cow looks at the calf with so much of affection. The calf, when it's just born, think about it. The cow is delivering the baby, and the calf will now be filled with blood, mucus, all the filth. It'll be thrown on the floor when it's born, typically on some soil, whatever place the cow was there, the cow shed, you can imagine how it will be, right? So the calf is thrown there, and all what is there on the floor will, get stuck to the calf's body. This cow is filled with so much of affection to the calf that the calf, whatever is the dirt in the body of the calf, the cow does not even feel it or realize it. It starts licking the calf clean. The cow now starts licking little by little with so much of affection, so much of love, and cleans the calf. The calf is called as a vatsa. So the vatsa is cleaned by the cow completely. All the dirt is removed with so much of love and affection by the mother cow, without seeing anything as a fault, without seeing anything as a dirt, without seeing anything as filth. Now, Bhagavan, the ultimate Para Narayana, who is omnipresent, omnipotent with all the Kalyana gunas, and we are this little Jivatma. He does not see anything as a fault. He is filled with so much of love and affection for us that he treats us like his Vatsa. No mistakes of us is visible in his eyes. So he cleans all the mistakes that we do and exhibits this Vatsalya Bhava. So this motherly affection, which does not even know the shortcomings, is called as a Vatsalya Bhava. That's why Bhagavan is Karuna Vatsala. So we are his Vatsas. He will not see our mistakes. So that Narayana Murti is filled with this Vatsalya Bhava. And that is why he has taken his avatara here. That is why he is born as Krishna. And what does he do as Krishna? He will do all what we want him to do. We saw in the fifth Paasuram, right? He enjoyed being tied up by his mother. So that is the kind of love Krishna exhibits. And in spite of being Paravasudeva, when he takes the avatara here, he exhibits this beautiful quality called Sausilya. Sausilya means a great person behaving to us as if he's our equal, treating us so nicely, treating us as if we are one among, him and his clan, moving with us very freely without looking, up or down. It's like he doesn't distinguish us. He's so free with us. So all these qualities are the Sausilya quality which Bhagavan demonstrates when he takes his avatara. So Andal here says that we are speaking about the Narayana Murti. Now, this Papan does not understand Narayana Murti, right? She does not have exposure to Narayana Murti's Vatsalya. Though Bhagavan is exhibiting that Vatsalya, we don't even realize it. So, in order to make the intangible tangible, something that she can relate to, Andal says, Keshavanai padavum ni kete kidappiyo. Okay, if you cannot understand that great Bhagavan as Narayana, you can definitely understand him as Keshava, right? He's our Krishna, he's Keshava. So when you understand him as Keshava, a lot of things will fall in place for you. So she says, Kesavanai Padavumni. When I sing about Keshava, can you just still sleep? Now this girl starts meditating on this beautiful Nama called Keshava. Keshava is such a beautiful name which stands for so many different meanings. One of the very, very important meaning is Bhagavan, who has beautiful Kesha Pasha, beautiful loft of hair, which is curly, blue, having the fragrance of tulasi. This is a lakshana of Bhagavan himself, you know. So, one of the great lakshanas of Bhagavan, Prashasta Neela Keshatvat Keshavaha, is the definition given in Nirukta. So Nirupta says, Prashatta Neela Keshatvat. Neela, his hair is blue and it is so beautiful. You can adore Bhagavan as Keshava. So this girl now starts to visualize Bhagavan as the beautiful Keshava. Keshava also has another meaning, which is Keshavaha, Klesha Nashanaha. Any hindrances, he will remove. The person who removes all the hindrance is called as Keshava. There are many more meanings of Keshava. I would like to discuss that at an appropriate time. So, these two meanings are there at this point of time. Now, what happens is the moment Andal says, Keshavanai padavum ni kete kidattiyo, this girl starts contemplating on that beautiful Keshava. Now, Andal says, Kete kidattiyo, can you still be inside? Do you not want to come rush out and then think about or be with the Keshava, be with the Bhagavatas, enjoy this bliss? Now, that girl is like, filled with Keshava, Keshava, how beautiful he is. Look at his eyes, look at his hair, contemplating on him. She's at a different dhyana level at this point of time. Now, so many hindrances are happening because this girl is not coming. So she says, Andal says, you are delaying us. Come and join. We have to rush. We have so many other people to wake up. We have to go there. And now our girl is so sure because Keshava, Klesha Nashanaha, he will stop all the hindrances. He will ensure that everything happens very well. Therefore, she is not worried. She still keeps contemplating on Keshava, Keshava, Keshava. Now, what our Andal does is she wants to see whether this girl is going to come out or not. She tries to look into the window because she's standing outside. Now, when she looks out of the window, she is amazed. Ni kete kidattiyo, how can you be quiet? She's asking. So at that time, Tesa Mudaya Aitira, this girl is filled with so much of tejas. She's inside because she's contemplating on Bhagavan. Andal is able to see her with so much of tejas, so much of bliss that she is inside. And she says, hey, we want to see the complete bliss. We are just seeing a little bit from this window. We want to see the complete bliss. So please come out. Tiruppavai, please come and open the door. Thiruvelur Embavai, please come out, open the door. All of us want to see your tejas. Spread that tejas to us so that all of us can dwell on this Bhagavad Anubhava together. So then that girl with this Keshava Nama, having been called by Andal, joins everybody. They go further on their journey. So I have touched on a few important things. There are certain things which I can touch if any of us have questions or discussions. So this beautiful Pasura is for all of us who know a lot of things, who find it difficult to implement certain things. So we should remember that Bhagavan has been waiting for us for a long time. His leg started paining. He sat in a few places. He wanted to lie down in a few places because he's been waiting for such a long time. And all we have to do is understand that he has this vatsalya to us. He has this unending love where he's not going to see any mistakes of us. He's filled with so much of karuna that in spite of so many mistakes that we've done, he's going to treat us as his little child. And we have the recommendation of our own mother, Goda, who is going to tell him that, he is your child, please accept him. She is your child, please accept him. And the moment we start thinking of Bhagavan, we are going to be filled with so much of tejas. Our environment have this Veda Dwani, the Shabdas, everything around us is now going to reverberate with the Harinama, reverberate with positive vibrations, reverberate with Veda Koshas. Everything is going to happen positively because Keshavaha, Klesha Nashanaha. So we have the blessings of Bhagavan. We have the blessings of our little Mata, 5-year-old Mata Goda, who's guiding us in all the right directions. Andal Tiruvadigalai Sharanam. Jai Shri Krishna.
Andal Tiruvadigalai Sharanam. Recommendations are the basis to every levels of our journey. When there is a good and the right recommendation for the right purpose, we are sure that we are safe. And when we know the person who is recommending us much more correctly and much more in a appropriate way, we are even more happier and more excited that we are getting a recommendation from the very, very correct person, and it is definitely for a very, very higher purpose. We, the eternal children to the eternal mother, are recommended by the eternal mother to the eternal father, and the eternal father who has always taken care of us in the good guidance of this beautiful mother. Goda and Krishna both have taken such a care for us. Their little form has taught so much. In their little forms, they have done so many leelas. In their little form, they have given us so much of insight. Why? Because irrespective of our ages, we are still little. And we can understand through these little forms that only can guide us and take us through the higher levels of consciousness and realizations. Andal brings down, filters down from the Paratva to the Archa, the fivefold categories of Paratva, Vyuhatva, Vibhava, Antaryamitva, and Archamurti. Yes, today's Paasuram talks of that Archamurti which is approachable, which is tangible, which is celebratable, which is seeable, we can touch, we can listen to, we can talk to, we can argue with, we can make love with, we can demand, we can obey. And to that Archa Murti of Narayana to Keshava, the entire sum up of Narayana of the Paratva to the Keshava of the Archa Murti is so beautifully and in a very simple two word sum up is Paratva is the same Archa Murti. Narayana, the Keshava who is Krishna for us. The Keshava who is very, very, very dear to you. And now may you wake up, O Sakhi, O the beautiful Sakhi, O the glittering Sakhi, O the effulgent Sakhi, O the Gopika, the one who has just experienced the churning of the butter at the Gokula by the Gopikas. You are subtle, but you pretend to be insensitive. Enough of your tricks and pranks. Wake up. Oh, the beautiful girl of the lovely Lord, Nayaka Pinpillai. Without you, we cannot even imagine of going to Keshava, because he will be surely looking for the bright looking you. So you are that bright one whose presence catches the eyes of Krishna. So come, add glow and glory to our satsanga. Such a beautiful Paasuram and such a lovely details given by Pravina ji, because our acharyas have given us such an insight which is vast, and touching any bit of it is so huge, and it definitely gives us such an intense and in-depth Bhagavad Anubhava through Andal's Paasuram. But it is such an effort that Ravina ji could bring them to a handful level of our understanding. It's a Veda Sara, which completely envelops the Bhagavata Tattva, Bhagavad Gita Sara, Ramayana Sara, Mahabharata Sara, and so many more. ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
கீச்சு கீச்சென்றெங்கும்
கீச்சு கீச்சென்றெங்கும்
ஆனை சாத்தன்
ஆனை சாத்தன்
கலந்து பேசின
கலந்து பேசின
பேச்சரவம்
பேச்சரவம்
கேட்டில்லையோ
கேட்டில்லையோ
பேய் பெண்ணு
பேய் பெண்ணே
காசும்
காசும்
பிறப்பும்
பிறப்பும்
கலகலப்ப
கலகலப்ப
கை பேர்த்து
கை பேர்த்து
வாசனரும்
வாசனரும்
குழல் ஆய்ச்சியர்
குழலாய்ச்சியர்
மத்தினால்
மத்தினால்
ஓசைப்படுத்த
ஓசைப்படுத்த
தயிரரவம்
தயிரரவம்
கேட்டில்லையோ
கேட்டில்லையோ
நாயக பெண் பிள்ளாய்
நாயக பெண் பிள்ளாய்
நாராயணன் மூர்த்தி
நாராயணன் மூர்த்தி
கேசவனை
கேசவனை
பாடவும் நீ
பாடவும் நீ
கேட்டே கிடத்தியோ
கேட்டே கிடத்தியோ
தேசம் உடையாய்
தேசம் உடையாய்
திரவேலோர்
திரவேலோ
எம் பாவாய்
எம் பாவாய்
தேசமுடையாய்
தேசமுடையாய்
திரவேலோர்
திரவேலோர் எம் பாவா
ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
அநேக சரணம்.
அநேக சரணம்.